You wish you'd just say, Joseph, get on the horse. You know, you're the prophet. You know, Wyman can walk for a while. But we know that they had these 2 horses. And where did they get the 2 horses? Well, that's the smoking gun. Because what we have found is a promissory note. A promissory note to John Brassfield dated the 16th day of April, 1839 for $150. So I don't know what the conversation went. Maybe it went with something like, well, what do you need for these horses? Well, I'm going to need $200. And Joseph's like, okay, John, I got $50. Heber C. Kimball, we know, gave him some money. That's all I have. Will you take a note? Okay. He takes a note. Now, what's funny is almost 4 years later, Joseph makes a very short entry into his journal. He says, Mr. John Brassfield, with whom I became acquainted in Missouri, paid me a visit. His son Joseph III had a little better memory of that. He said, when Father came to Quincy from his imprisonment in Missouri, he brought back with him a fine saddle horse, a dark chestnut sorrel stallion named Medley, which he obtained from the man who guarded them at the time of their escape. From circumstances which I remember in connection therewith, I have been reason to believe it had been purchased at a good figure. Whether or not Uncle Hiram had also received a horse, I cannot now say, but I remember that after the passage of some time, 2 men came to the house to see Father, one of whom was named John Brassfield. I understood at the time that these men had come for the purpose of collecting on the mount. So actually, John Brassfield comes and collects on his note. I've wondered why Joseph doesn't tell this story better and why it's left to his sweet son. Because sons do this, right? They just tell people how it is. And the spin that you might have put on it gets fractured a little bit. Why? Because Joseph had one seminal quality, and that was loyalty. And the thing that hurt him the greatest was when people showed a lack of loyalty to him, to the church, to the Lord. The most bitterest of times was when W. Phelps would testify at Austin King's hearing against his friend. And when he would then afterwards ask for that forgiveness, saying the mote was in his own eye, and Joseph would pen those poetic lines, friends at first are friends again at last, is because he valued loyalty. And what do you think he had said to John Brassfield and Bowen and Morgan? So you guys are going to let us go, right? Yeah. How far do we got to go? Just a little bit further. I don't want to go any further. I got your back. I don't know. But it makes sense to me. Because in the end of the day, the only thing that the people really wanted was to drive our people from the state. They had accomplished that. And then it was time that their sweet prophet joined them. And even though those shoes might have been bloodied, he came stronger and wiser and a better man because he learned how to do everything he could cheerfully. And then he let himself stand still and watch the arm of the Lord be revealed. These are great stories, and perhaps all the legal nuances are more than most people want to know, but perhaps for me, it gives me the reality of the qualities that he acquired in the trials of his life. Thank you.